Okay, guys, hello, welcome to day 26. I came across something interesting today. Actually, a friend of mine sent me a link. He said, hey, check out this website. And the website was WIX.com, WIX.com. And the cool thing about this site is it actually is there's a software on there, and then the website actually allows you to develop and build your own website and design it yourself just using a drag and drop kind of a template. Now, what I've used to make the site you're looking at now, or if you're watching this on YouTube, find the link to the website for the blog, 365k and 365days.ca. And what I did to make that website was I just found a WordPress blog, like a template, and it's kind of tricky. It gets a little difficult. I had to slowly learn how to customize and change that site, and I'm still learning how to do that. But this one, it was Wix was very easy to customize. You simply went on the screen, put your mouse pointer on what you wanted to change. You clicked it, some options came up. You could change the color, the text. You just change it right there. You didn't have to go to any back office and change things like you do with WordPress or a lot of other site template type of things. So that was really cool. That was actually it allowed me to be more creative in a faster manner. Um, sometimes your creativity can get slowed down if you've got like a bottleneck. If you've got all these great ideas, but they come to a point and you can only push one through at a time, which is kind of how I felt with WordPress, a bit restricted. I had these ideas. Oh, I'd love if that border was a little bit longer, or I wish I could change this picture and put this picture there instead. And you have to go in and I had to find the coding or play with a widget, as they call it, to add or remove certain options. And it wasn't always the easiest thing, like what you see is what you get, which is the acronym for that is WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. And that's what this one more is. You go on there and just like a Microsoft Word document or something, you go in, click where you want to edit, and you start editing. And that was great. It was right on the same screen. It does use Flash, so it's kind of like Flash animation, which I have recently heard someone tell me that Flash is not the best way to optimize your website any longer for search engine and stuff. But I thought this would still be useful for any site. Like it allows you to make a MySpace design if you're a musician or something, or it allows you to just make a custom, like a splash page, like an intro page, and then if you want more information, I could click a link to something else and maybe optimize that more. I don't know. I'm still learning all this stuff, but it was really cool to be able to get in there and to play with everything, right away. As I think of something, oh, I wonder what it would look like this color. I could just change the color like that in a matter of seconds instead of going in my back office and trying to alter it. So, I guess that brought me to my theme. What I came up today was with more about creativity and just allowing the creative parts of you out, whether you're a musician or a writer, or you sculpt or anything. Everyone's usually got some sort of artistic outlet. I know I have a friend who does amazing scrapbooking, and that she fills her time doing that, and that's really cool. But could you imagine if you had to you sign into your back office and try to put together your scissors before you could ever use them? It really will hold back. You have an idea, it takes a while to get it out there. Um, so just being able to really work with something instantly was the value of this website, and that's why I decided to talk about it today. Even if it's not, maybe the perfect way to optimize your website, or it's not exactly how you want it to function. If you can design it how you want it to look, you can always give that to someone who's better with developing functions, and they can use that as a template for your ideas. So it's a really good place. Like when I go to my graphic artist to get logos done or something for my other business, I try to draw it all out before and really play with colors and ideas before I go there, and that way we're able to move a lot quicker, and it's a lot more enjoyable for me and for him. Um, so that's something I decided I was going to do with this website. I was going to create something, and then whether it works or not didn't really matter, because I can always take that to someone and say, I want it to look like this, but I wish it would do something different. See this, and you can point at an example. And that's usually the best way to get that communication across when you're working with someone else in designing. But again, that took me down to creativity. So I didn't really know much else what to talk about, but I'm just going to go right into some quotes that I picked up on creativity, and I'll just touch a few things on there before I let you go today. Um, the first quote I came up with is by someone named Bo Bennett, and it says, "Enthusiasm is excitement with inspiration, motivation, and a pinch of creativity." That was kind of cool. Enthusiasm is excitement with inspiration, motivation, and a pinch of creativity. Um, Another one I found was by Albert Einstein, and this one made me think for a minute. It says, "Problems cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them." And that came up simply because I looked in for creativity quotes, and it says created there, but it just says problems cannot be solved with the same level of thinking that created them. You know, that's a good way to look at things. Like, if you're having an issue with how you're doing something, you just keep doing it the same way, you're not going to get there. I remember another quote, I think it was still Albert Einstein, and it's along the same lines, is that insanity, the true definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I always remember that one. I'm pretty sure that was Albert Einstein as well. So that's something to think. If you want different results, and if you want to solve something that you're working on, you got to come at it from a different approach than what created it. If you're still working in the environment, that you created that mess or that problem in, maybe it's not going to be the easiest way to fix it there. You gotta get out and try a different point of view. Um, Another quote I have here is, "Creative is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep." And that is by someone named Scott Adams. I really like that one as well. Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. Um, I think I mentioned in one of my last videos this week that I was having a problem with wanting to work on my video editing, and I was also having a problem with writing. That would have been in one of my posts. Sorry, it wasn't in a video. It was in one of the posts accompanying the video. I was talking about how I had no idea what to write. I just couldn't think of anything to write about, and that was slowing down my creativity. But it says creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Now, I was wanting to write. I thought it was a big deal to me. I wanted to make sure I did a good job and had something, so I was hesitant. And what I ended up doing was just putting my pen to pad, my fingertips to the keyboard, and I just started writing. I just started typing something. And I figured, just let the creativity out and I can filter it later. Instead of trying to make sure it's perfect before I start, just let me do something and write for the trash bin. And that's part of, this whole process that I'm doing with the 365 challenge. I don't necessarily have a plan from A to Z. I don't necessarily know exactly what I'm going to do to make this 365,000. I have got quite a few really good solid ideas. And basically my intent is just to work on those little bits and pieces of each idea, little mini projects along the way, and then really spend the last 4 or 5 months really working on that major project once I've gone through a bunch of roadblocks and stumbling blocks and learning curve on the little bits. So, it's okay to make those mistakes and to make them again and again. It's fine. Now, picking out which one of those projects and which one of those things works and which one to keep is the art of it all. So I really like that again. Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. The other quote I have here is by someone I couldn't even begin to pronounce the name. And so instead, I'll add that quote to my post as well, and that will give credit to that author. But it says, "It is better to create than to be learned. Creating is the true essence of life." And all that's trying to say is just, if you're creating something or working on something new, and you're creating whether it's a project or anything, just creating something new is by far a lot more valuable than just parroting stuff you've learned. We can all learn stuff, read books, and learn information, but it's really when you're able to create new things or just work on an old idea, creating it in a new way. That's really what adds to life, and I think that was cool. It is better to create than to be learned. Creating is the true essence of life. We can all create something new. Sometimes things are hard to learn, but we can all work on creating something new. So Today, work on your project. Check out Wix.com.